What is going on, people? Happy Friday, Fumble fam. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Do not forget to give the Fumble family a like. We got some things to talk about today. A lot of nonsense that's been going on in the football world, and we're going to start off with none other than Mr. Antonio Brown. So we're going to talk about that here shortly. And Russell Westbrook, he got a little, he gave a little face when he heard the word Crip being talked about. You know that the Staples Center's new name is going to be Crypto.com Arena, but Russell Westbrook thought he heard something else. We're going to talk about that later. It's a funny one in the post-up. But before we get to that, I got to introduce my guy, none other than Mr. Kevin Pryor. What is good? Welcome back, sir. Filling in for Miss Jackie Ray, who is in Denver right now. We'll hopefully see her next week on Monday. But Kev, what's up, man? Where can they find you, bro?
What's going on, Chris? You can find me in all things 950 Kev, Instagram, Twitter. Catch my show every morning from 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern, 950 Lounge on multiple platforms all over this great country of ours. And it's a pleasure to be with you, my brother.
Always, man, always. And yeah, you know where to find me everywhere. CK2K, it's your boy Chris, blah, blah, blah. You know where I am. But yeah, man, happy to be with you, Kevin. We got a fun one to talk about now because it seems like there's a bit of a witch hunt. I don't know how real it is. I don't know. There's something here isn't right, but I want to hear what you have to say about it after we break this thing down. And it has to do with none other than Mr. Antonio Brown. We went a long time without having any drama circling around my man Antonio Brown, but here we are. And we're going to talk about him. But it has to do with this whole COVID vaccination situation. Now, allegedly, according to Tampa Bay Times, Antonio Brown has been obtaining fake COVID-19 vaccination cards to avoid the whole NFL protocols and nonsense and whatnot. They even got some text between Stephen Ruiz and Antonio Brown's girlfriend, Sydney Moreau. And I'm going to read those the text right now so you can see where it seems like they're making a little bit of a deal for some of these fake cards. Now, I started off where basically they're just regular back and forth, robbery. But if you go halfway through, you can see, oh my goodness. Stephen Ruiz is asking, what time should I do breakfast? Sid's saying, be ready for 7. He said, okay, sounds good. And then Miss Sydney, she asked, can you get the COVID cards? My man said, I can try. And he said, J&J shot. AB said he would give you $500. So they have this text on file, or these texts on file where the whole speculation started. And now the NFL is doing some investigations going into this. But the Buccaneers are speaking out as well, saying that this is all fake news. There's nothing real about this. Buccaneers dropped a statement in regard to that report saying, after an extensive educational process conducted throughout our organization this past offseason, highlighting the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccines, we received completed vaccinations cards from all Tampa Bay Buccaneer players and submitted their required information to the NFL through the established process in accordance with league policies. All vaccination cards were reviewed by Buccaneers personnel and no irregularities were observed. That's a word. That's a hard word to say. And then on top of that, Jenna Lane from ESPN, she also dropped a tweet that came from Antonio Brown's attorney that said, if Antonio's doctors and the guidelines require a booster shot, then at that time, he'll be happy to do it live on TV and everyone can come and watch. So there's just a lot that's going on with this one. I think my main confusion is if, according to Mr. Attorney, if that last line is true, where he's willing to take that shot, then what's the whole text messages about? What's going on with the back and forth? Because that was a conversation that was had because the text message, that's not a made up text message conversation. So did my man Antonio lose his card? Like, there's a lot of questions around it. And it sounds like even if they were fake up until this point, it sounds like he's not against getting the vaccine now that he got caught. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. But getting all this information, Kev, what's your thoughts? Are you believing the report that he was getting fake cards this entire time? Do you think that something got mixed up in the sauce? Like, what's your thoughts on this entire report going into this right now?
Well, you know what, Chris? This has a lot of layers. This is like a 10-tier wedding cake, right? So let's face it. Let's break this down for a moment, right? Now, AB plays in the NFL, right? the NFL has some of the best doctors in the world. Why would you not take the vaccination at the team facility? Number one. That's number one. Number two, AB had COVID. So obviously that eloquent soliloquy that the Buccaneers put together, they know what's going on because he's had COVID. But why would you have your players go to Rite Aid or CVS to take a vaccine when you have these facilities with all these doctors? So that's number two. That's off. Number three, listen, I'm from New York. There was a time in my life where, you can get a fake ID card when I needed a fake ID card. So fake ID cards can look real. Let's face it. They don't all look like McLovin, from the movies. So there are ID cards that can look real. And number four, which is probably the biggest issue, AB, pay your bills. The reason why this all came out because he owed a living chef $10K. And if he would have just made the payment and not try to, deal with this guy like I don't want to pay you, this would have never came out. So the moral of this story is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you owe somebody money and they know where the bodies are buried, take care of that debt. Because again, this would have never came out if AB just would have took care of his bill.
So you think? I know that was a separate situation with the chef. I know exactly what you're talking about. But you're thinking that that's why my man Steven released this tweet or this text because he been helping him with these cars the whole entire time, and allegedly he's fronting him $500 and he didn't pay up. So now he's showing the world like, look, he's been faking it this whole time. Are you trying to put those two pieces together? Is that what you're trying to put up there at the end?
Chris, I'm not rich, but my everyday fits. If somebody owe me $10, I'm like, yo, if you don't pay me my money, we're going to have some problems, repercussions. $10,000? Nah, man. And AB has got a track record with this as well, man. He doesn't pay masseuses. He doesn't pay trainers. He's got a track record. So this guy's probably like, yo, wait a minute. I'm making you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm at your beck and call. AB. AB going to live the life of, an NFL player. I want a meal at 3 a.m. That guy got to make that meal at 3 a.m. So you're going to tell me you ain't going to pay me no money? No, I'm putting all your business in the street. There's no love lost on that. And again, that's why now, I'll take the boost on TV because you know that this dude got you. Why would you got to do that? The Buccaneers already have your info unless the Buccaneers have some situations themselves. It's a messy situation, man. A lot of mess.
You keep adding layers and layers that are coming because you're right. There's probably other situations going on with the organization because they were the first team that made it loud and proud that they are 100% vaccinated. Bruce Arians had the fun quotes talking about that they aren't going to be going and partying when they're playing away teams and stuff like that. And he's proud that they're 100% vaccinated and Roddy. But there could be a lot of other people that are being covered in this whole thing. So that's why they're sticking with Antonio Brown on his side, even though we're seeing these tweets that are going to be investigated. And so you bring up some points I didn't even think about, man. You bring up some
Chris,
points
I didn't even think about. One last thing as well to light your pipe with. Obviously, we know the inventor of TD12, Tom Brady, Alex Guerrero. Alex Guerrero trains AB because obviously AB is now a Buccaneer. The person who took the picture of the alleged card to send to the Bucks, training people or whoever was Alex Guerrero. Alex Guerrero is connected to Tom Brady. Let's say this. Listen, I could be like Nino. If I'm going down, everybody going down. So the reality is that this has a lot of layers, man. And if the NFL was smart, I don't necessarily agree with it, but if they were smart, they would do their best tap dance and not dig this thing up because where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, as they're finding out right now with the whole John Gruden situation, because that's unlocking a whole other bunch of situations that's going on. So, yeah, man. All right, well, we'll find out. And like I said, basically what I'm thinking, everything you just said was perfect. So now putting all that together, basically what I'm thinking is, he was faking this entire time. He didn't go out and go get his shot because he just didn't want to. And now that he got caught, he's like, all right, well, I'll take the vaccine. Yeah, I'll get the booster shot to show all y'all I began my shot this entire time. So he's doing it because now he got caught. So I think we are on to something right now. I think it's a bit of both. But yeah, man, you bring it up. I didn't realize that Guerrero was one to take that picture. Man, anyways, yeah, great times. Chat, I want to hear what you guys have to think about it. We'll see that as we go into Post Up. on this fine Friday, I'll be reading and seeing what your thoughts are for Antonio Brown and what happened there. But we have other things to talk about. And like I said, it's been a while since we talked about Antonio Brown. It's also been a while since we talked about this next person. And when I say a while, I mean like a few days. Ben Simmons. Yes, you thought that Ben Simmons was going to be out of the news wire? No way. Because now we have a new development going on within the Philadelphia 76ers organization that apparently they got about like 30 players that they are dead set on hopefully making a move for Ben Simmons. This tweet by NBA Central came out saying, the Sixers have a list of approximately 30 players who would satisfy them in a Ben Simmons trade, per Sam Amick. The quote says, there's an internal belief that a fair amount of them, let's say about 5 to 10, could become available, here's my favorite part, in the next year or two. Now, we remember the quote coming from Daryl Morey saying that, you know, this might be a drawdown process and it might not happen this year. Hell, might not even happen next year, which led to all of a sudden Ben Simmons was in the practice facility, wasn't doing much, but he was there now. He's like, oh, shoot. Wait a minute, I might not be going anywhere. I better get, you know, my situation figured out over here, even though he hasn't really been handling that the right way. So it sounds like they're double downing on that. Like I said, the kicker for me, Kev, was that last line, in a year or two. All the other stuff is fine. I'm sure in every situation when there's trades that deal with big players, they have a list of guys that they want. As Knicks fans, we know that they have their list and they've shot their shot and they always get the phone hung up on them. We know that that's the history of us for the last 2 decades. So I believe that part, but that, you know, that year or two part, do you think the Sixers have year or two time with this Ben Simmons situation?
Listen, man, they, you know, I don't know what Philly is thinking. You know, Daryl Morey's had a great, has some hell of a last couple years situation with the Rockets and insulting the country, and then obviously right. What's going on now. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's almost like you know, the War of the Roses. Like, I'm not leaving, you're gonna leave. You know, it's like a bad marriage. It's like I own the house, I built this business, so. No, they don't have 2 years, Chris, to answer your question. And again, it's all spin. They had an opportunity to trade this guy. They're the ones who hurt his trade value when you got the head coach saying, I can't win with him, and you got the star player talking about, I don't care about you. Then they hurt their own value. So, cry me a river for the Sixers. And it's like the great Keith Sweat once said, is anybody going to trade for them? Nobody. Ain't nobody trading for these guys. It's a wrap, man. So they're going to have to take pennies on the dollar. And I've spoken to guys in the NBA that I know personally, and they're like, well, I can understand Philly's point. They don't want to lose value. But listen, if I got a Lamborghini in the garage and it got no engine in it, it's still a Lamborghini, but it ain't driving nowhere. So I might as well just put a Honda engine and drive it out the garage.
Figure it
ain't
out.
Going nowhere without no engine and figure it out. So, man, they can't wait 2 years. Eventually, they're going to have to be in a situation where they're going to have to release him because they are not going to be able to trade him. I wouldn't trade him for a bag of chips right now. And with all this situation coming out about his mental health, you can't trade him anyway. You're in purgatory. So congratulations, Philadelphia. You loused this one up.
And you played yourself. Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like on social media and in regular media and whoever you want to talk about, everyone is pointing the finger at Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons this, Ben Simmons that. And like you just said, and I've been saying, this is a Sixers situation. This is a Sixers problem. They're the one that have sullied this entire situation because Daryl Morey wanted to sit there and believe the rumors and wait on a Damian Lillard move that he wasn't looking at any other possible move that would have made a lot more sense for them to get rid of Ben Simmons. Now, like you just said, he's at a point where Ben Simmons is damn near untradeable because we're hearing these other things where he doesn't want to play for the team because he's not mentally prepared for it. This, that, and the third. Doc Rivers saying the things that he said. Joel Embiid pretending to be there for him, but not really a fan of him. So it's just the Sixers themselves have hurt Ben Simmons more than Ben Simmons has hurt himself. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, they might be forced into not being able to trade him away for a year or two because, like you said, at this point, they're going to be getting, Kevin Knox in the second-round pick for Ben Simmons if they're not careful. So, yeah, they need to understand how to handle the situation. I don't know what they do, but, yeah, this is a definitely a Philadelphia 76ers situation and not a Ben Simmons situation, in my opinion. So I'm with you on that. So moving on to the next one, Dwayne Wade was a little bit salty. He didn't like the way that NBA Central, the person we were just reading the tweet about, He didn't like the way that they took one of his quotes out of context. But before we get to that, NBA Central dropped this tweet talking about an article or an interview that Dwayne Wade had. Said Dwayne Wade believes that Steph Curry has had a better career than Kevin Durant. And it said, quote, Steph has kind of revolutionized the sport. Now, Dwayne Wade saw this, responded to it, very upset. You can just hear the upset. You can read the upset. You don't have to actually physically hear him say it. Dwayne Wade said the headline is misleading and controversial. Now, what he's saying by that is the quote is true. That is word for what he said. But then that first line saying Dwayne Wade saying that Steph Curry had a better career than Kevin Durant, ain't nowhere in that interview did Dwayne Wade say that. But because this is a fun show, this is the post up, and I'm going to be the one to say that. Kev, whether he said it or not, do you think Steph Curry so far has had a better career than Kevin Durant? Now, mind you, Dwayne Wade's quote is true. He has revolutionized the game to this point where, just like we were talking about before the game, we're sitting as Knicks fans watching Julius Randle shooting threes because that's just what the game is right now. So he's changed the game, but to NBA Central, what they're trying to bait us on, saying that Steph Curry had a better career than Kevin Durant. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Well, you know what, Chris? You got it. There's two ways you can look at this. You can play the analytics games. We know that. Or you can do the eye test, right? But once you start to really break it down, personally, I really can't say that they're wrong. I can't say NBA Central is wrong. Steph, 3 championships, the KD's 2. 2 MVPs, the KD's 1. 7 All-Star appearances. Obviously KD is more, has been in the league longer. 7 All-NBA, the KD 6. Obviously, the only thing against Steph is that there's no Finals MVPs, and the guy that you're comparing against won the Finals MVPs twice when he played with you. So it seemed like from the eye test, when they both play on the same team, KD was a better player. But when you start to break this thing down, listen, I can't really knock that. My eyes would say KD, maybe the greatest shooter of the basketball there is, 6'11", can shoot anywhere on the floor, 12 shots, get you over 30 points. The eye test, okay? But when you break down analytics, you got an argument there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think, when you see this initially, your brain goes into what? What? Because everything you just said, you think of Kevin Durant, this dude is just a freak of nature. 6'11", damn near should be playing power forward center in today's NBA, but he's out there scoring the way that he scores and this, that, and third. But when you put together everything you just mentioned, and I've been saying this, I feel like KD needed Steph more than Steph needed KD in those runs with the Warriors. So I look, if we're gonna call it a spade, I'm with you. I kind of co-sign with this, but I do agree that Dwayne Wade wasn't trying to say that. But you're answering that question, the initial tweet. I think I'm gonna rock with you on that. I agree. I think Steph Curry, as of right now, has had the better career. I mean, we're also arguing that 2 NBA greats is what we're talking about, better careers. At the end of the day, Kevin Durant is going to be one of the top of all time, and Curry one of the top of all time. So it doesn't even matter. I'm sure they're sitting there enjoying our arguments, but can care less because they're both where they're at. But for the sake of the argument,
think about it, Chris. If Draymond Green doesn't, try to hit LeBron the ding dong, that 3-1 lead, Golden State probably wins that series. They go back to back. Maybe one of the greatest teams of all time with the amount of wins, and there's no KD. There's no KD in Golden State. Would KD have a championship now? You have to ask yourself. Remember,
that's a big question.
They were down 3-1. They were down 3-1 to that same Golden State team. Him and Russ, they were up 3-1 and couldn't close the deal. So again, a lot of things have to happen now, and I think again, KD. This is why I think the Nets situation is so valuable to Durant, because he's got to win. He's got to win. And it's not about, he's not a great player. We know that. He's a great talent. But it's about legacy now. These guys are playing for legacy. And he's got to win a championship now. And that's where maybe all the pressure of Brooklyn, and I think when people talking about the Kyrie thing and all the different things, it's a lot of pressure on KD to win without Steph Curry.
Yeah, very good point. Yep, that's very, very true. I think, I think I can't add anything else to that. Speaking of Steph Curry, let's talk about there was a fun little moment. Not too much here, but we know that TACKO Fall is now a Cleveland Cavalier, so he's he is the biggest dude in the NBA. And we saw a moment between him and Steph Curry, and he just made Steph Curry look even smaller than he already was. And the hug didn't help because Steph Curry just looked like a little kid hugging his dad, like, thanks, Dad, for dropping me off of practice today. Or can we go to McDonald's? Thanks, Dad. That's what this moment looked like. But yeah, man, anytime Taco Fall is being talked about, it's funny. And the thing is, man, I also gotta get Taco Fall some props because he is out here and trying to improve his game. I can't say. I told myself I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Cavaliers yet because they're playing good right now. They got my second favorite rookie in the draft, so I'm gonna lay back on them. But yeah, I thought that was a fun little moment. Steph Curry giving him a hug, looking like a son that's about to go get McDonald's with Pop. So cool moment there. But at the end of the day, Steph Curry, better career than Kevin Durant right now. Just right now. All right, now speaking of, we were talking about that Warriors and Thunder series. We talked about KD. Let's talk about the other guy that was on that team, and that's Russell Westbrook. We talked about how the Staples Center is going to be changing their name to the Crypto.com Arena. Actually, I've been hearing Crypto.com Center. I hope they do Arena because at least that it rolls off a little bit better than Crypto.com Center. It's kind of weird. I don't know, but it's not my stadium. I'm very happy with Madison Square Garden. That's never going to change, no matter what kind of sponsor you put on it. But Crypto.com Arena or Crypto.com Center, whatever. A reporter was asking Russell Westbrook his thoughts on the new arena, and Russell Westbrook thought he heard something completely different. Check out the video.
You said the Crib Arena? Oh, I didn't know what you said. My bad. I thought you said the Crib Arena. Man, listen.
Yeah, so that was a fun moment because he was like, well, hold on. What'd you say? But what's funny is this reminded me of a tweet that I saw over the weekend after the news came out that had me dying. Now, I know that this is not what's going to happen because you can't do this in LA, but this one said LeBron taking the floor for the first time at the Crypt. I was thinking, they gonna start calling the arena the Crypt, and you see LeBron James out there. So this had me dying this weekend. But we know in LA, look, I don't know how far anyone's gonna get around talking about, hey man, let's go watch a Laker game at the Crypt. I don't know if you can do that in LA. I'm just gonna be completely real with you on that one.
You might get shot.
Yeah, I'm saying like that. There's dangerous grounds, and I don't know if Jeannie Buss knew what she did when she signed this deal. She just knew the money. But, man, this is going to be dangerous. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, I thought that video was funny.
Listen, what the key is, what was Russ wearing that old, tired Deion Sanders jersey? Like he was back in high school. Russ has really gotten very comfortable being back home. He was walking earlier this year on the logo. He's talking about, talking about, see stuff in press conferences. He's wearing his old jersey back when Prime was starting for the Cowboys and not at Jackson State. I mean, he's really back at home. He's really feeling good about himself. So Russ, he is. He's enjoying the moment of being back in LA.
He really wearing that. Yeah, he really wearing that jersey like he went to visit his mom's and she had it in the attic. He's like, oh, I'm gonna put this on tonight. Shoot, I forgot I had this thing.
Look what I found. Really... I found your old jersey. You want to show tonight, mama? This is fashion, mama. Fashion.
I'm bringing this back, right? For real. That's so funny, man. Yeah, this is going to be interesting, and the fact that it's happening this year, man, I don't know. It's going to be a fun second half of the season at the Crypto.com Center or Arena, whatever it ends up being. So now we're talking about Popovich, Mr. Gregg Popovich, Coach Popovich, one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. We know, we've heard the reports that he is on his way out. He's looking to retire soon. I don't know if that's been confirmed by him, but the reports are ever saying that. So now it just seems like he's just trying to make sure he gives out all the wisdom he can before he bounces. And it's funny to go from this original quote that he dropped way back in the day when they drafted Tim Duncan by saying that his key to success was to draft Tim Duncan, and after that, stay alive. And right now, I feel like after he had his Tim Duncan run, now he's focusing on that second part, staying alive, because they got blown out last night by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Pop couldn't be bothered. He's out here coaching the other team. Check out this video.
Bench. Pop is so good that he coaches both teams. He coaches his own team, then
yeah, look, man. Pop is out here just making sure he can spread whatever he has in his brain out to the court, to whoever it may be, whether it's his team or the other team. But yeah, man, I saw that. I was just like, that's not very Popovich like. But I guess we're in a different era of Gregg Popovich as he is on his way out in the NBA. But yeah, I thought that was a fun one. And something else that was fun from that same exact game was this poor little ball boy, man. Look, like I just mentioned, the Spurs had a tough game against the T-Wolves, a tough one. And the one time that they finally got a defensive stop and were going to go for a fast break dunk, it seemed like even the T-Wolves ball boys and mop boys were playing defense as well. Check out this video again of this man getting in the way of Devin Vassell.
5th and 6 free throws of the season.
Look at this.
Spurs
Finally got a steal.
The second, watch out as the ball boy is out there to mop up and almost took the charge.
He almost did, but look, man, shout out to Devin Vassell for the Euro step. Watch this. He was look, he almost took him out. That ball boy tried to get out of there, and yeah, that entire thing was crazy. It was just a weird night. I was watching that game, and I know the Spurs are not the Spurs of old, but gosh, they are on or they're really off. So that being said, DeJounte Murray, if you want to come and play with us, that'd be great. You're looking for a point guard, but you know what it is. But yeah, Kev, what you think about my man with the little Euro around the ball boy? Do you have a problem with that? When we used to hoop, I don't know about y'all, but when we used to hoop, we would play the full court, and guys who were waiting to get on next would always shoot on the bottom rim when everyone's on the other side until the fast break. And it was always that moment where somebody didn't realize a fast break was happening and they're still shooting, and they turn around and they'll get run. We ain't going to Euro. That dude going to get run over because we know that he got in the way and we're going to check it back up anyway. So we're going to make sure we make the most of that move. And the ball boy almost saw that in real life. He almost saw that in an NBA setting.
No doubt. Yeah, that used to be the case here with us too. The ones that can't get on the floor, they want to shoot shots and what have you. But Dave Chappelle once said, "Life is better in slow motion." This looked even ugly in slow motion. This kid, man, you talk about workers' comp and whatever they got to have for this. This could have been very ugly. Now, again, he was doing his job. He probably was told in the interview, "Listen, when the time when it's down the floor, you wipe. You see a spot on the floor, you wipe. When in COVID, spray a little disinfectant on the floor, wipe. So he was doing his job. But in real life time, the train was coming, and I'm sure he saw his life flash before his eyes. But goodbye both. He got out the way, and goodbye the Spurs player for moving around and avoiding a nasty accident. But it could have been a little crazy. It could have been worse, but thank God it didn't happen. And like I said, that kid's just doing his job, and both were doing their job. The Spurs got layup. They didn't score much last night, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Sam in the chat, he said Vassell didn't slip on the floor. Ball boy did his job, and which is facts, because that's the spot where he was mopping it. If that ball boy wasn't there, we don't know where Devin Vassell would be. So shout out to the ball boy. Almost got taken out in the process.
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody is a winner. Some of the Spurs, but yeah, everybody in that situation was a winner. But yeah, man, Kev, that's it, man. We got a nice quick one, nice short one, and I always appreciate you being on here, bro. Like I said, I know you said it at the top, but not everybody was here for it. Make sure you let everybody know where the hell they can find you, bro.
Again, you can reach out to me on Instagram, Twitter at 950kev. And you can catch my morning show with the best team in radio, 950 Lounge, that comes on every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern on multiple platforms, iHeartRadio, Rough Riders Radio, and a bunch of terrestrial stations. And go check us out, www.950lounge.com. And Chris and to Artie and Leo and everybody in the back, I really appreciate you guys. The season of giving is Thanksgiving. I thank you guys for always allowing me to come in and fill in, whether it's for Jackie or for Chris. It's a real pleasure, and I hope you guys have a safe one. Everybody in the chat as well, be safe. And go out and do something nice for somebody. We're in some crazy times, and we don't know what people are going through. Do something nice for somebody and make them feel good and make you feel good as well.
I love that. And likewise, Kev. I love. This is my third time doing a show. I always had a great time with you, especially just when it's a Knicks fan. Chopping it up with you is great, and I always love hearing your soliloquies on everything.
We're in misery, right? We're going through a little tough patch right now, so we got a band together.
Right, we need it. Golly, do we need it? And you know the deal. You can find me everywhere at CK2K. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe right here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, so you know when we are going live every day. Or, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Okay? Jackie Ray will be back next week. We'll see you guys then. Until then, have a good weekend and be safe. We're out.